Zach Hughes.
Hey, Paige.
Thank you so much for joining me today. We're so excited to have you at DSG Spotlight.
Well, it's a pleasure. We've always wanted to be on Spotlight.
I, well, you're the spotlight of my heart. So, guys, today I have Zach Hughes from Mocentric, and Zach just gave me the one-liner to describe his company. So, they offer so many different services, so it was hard for me to pick just like one sentence about them. But they are a digital marketing strategist with the full suite of marketing services. But I think that's too general, Zach. So I'd love for you to get into the nitty gritty of what you guys actually do, other than being a valued partner of ours. So give us like the nitty gritty on everything.
Yeah, so the background on Mocentric is our organization has been around for about 10 years, founded by Mike O'Hara. I joined the team about 7 years back, and at the time, our idea was to bring some of the really cool, innovative digital marketing solutions that we've been seeing industry-wide, but only on a level of, large, big agencies can get them and big brands could get them. But the smaller agencies and enterprises didn't really have access because at the time technology networks were creating high minimums on their technology. And so we thought it was a great opportunity to build a collective of partners so that we can actually position ourselves to have a seat at the table and to be able to get our partners access to some of these innovative digital marketing solutions that only the big agencies and the big spenders out there get.
That's awesome. That's really great. I feel
Does
like
that make sense?
yeah, of course. No, I think that's awesome. So let's dig a little bit deeper too. So if you could describe what exact services that kind of are the cream of the crop that you guys are servicing for your current clients, and maybe even some things that you're developing in the background, that would be great.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, just to give you some more insight on that, we first pride ourselves in being solution creators and technology testers. So we want to be on the forefront of technology, and a lot of times talking to a vast amount of our clients, we get to hear and get to take their feedback on what's new and exciting out there, or what they're seeing in their markets or in their industry. And we take all this information and we take that as a team internally, and we look and we kick the tires of all the new technology that comes out, and we report back to our clients what we're seeing and what's worth running campaigns on and exploring deeper. After that, we actually look into the managed service aspect of it and the media buying of it. So from creating a digital strategy to figuring out who our ideal audiences are, where we want to serve ads to them at, what kind of creative we want to test against that, and then rolling that out into a campaign, and then furthermore onto reporting and checking and tracking and optimizing and make sure that we have a story when it comes to attribution on the physical side and then on the digital side as well.
Yes, that is such a unique approach too, because I think a lot of marketing companies are coming to a client with cookie cutter solutions rather than, and I loved this term, the solution creators. I feel like you guys need to blast that everywhere on social media.
Yes.
And DSG can be very similar in a way because we like to customize for our clients as much as we can, right? We work more in the digital business information space, which is all about listings and profile and creating campaigns out of that. But I think where you guys are so different is that you're kind of always at the forefront of what's happening with the technology, especially how we use you guys in the paid media space and the targeting space. And then that layer that you said, which is like, okay, we have something that's so customized for our client, but we're going to also understand what managed services are going to go to match that. And then beyond that, like, how can we optimize? What's the targeting? What's the tracking that we want to do? It just feels like every little piece of that campaign and the campaign setup and how you're thinking about the client is so personalized and customized to their brand. And that's so important, I think, nowadays. because there's a lot of other solutions that are like, oh, you want leads? We got that program. Or you want awareness? We got that program. But in working with you guys, it doesn't ever feel that way.
Yeah, that's flexibility is key, and dedication's the other key aspect of that. Like every client that we have, we don't pick specific industries. We kind of work with them all. We don't pick specific technology partners. We listen to the partner and see what they need, and then go out and find the best and breed.
Yes.
And that's how we got introduced in the first place. Is you guys are the best at what you do, and we want our partners to have the best of that service. So that's why we chose, in the first place, like we need to take more notes on these meetings with DSG because they know what they're talking about. I don't know how to pontificate on as well as you guys do, so I need to become a subject matter expert or call you guys in to help me out with this stuff because I know I'm not going to know this kind of information, but you guys are, and having that kind of network and partnership and allow you guys to come in and offer your solutions to my clients is key to building value amongst the clients.
And it absolutely works both ways, though, Zach. And I appreciate the accolades. It's so nice of you to say. I think on our end, our growth in our business is focusing on paid media, right? So we take the DBI efforts and those learnings from our multi-location clients, and then we focus on okay, how can we level up in utilizing and I say paid media, that's so general, right? But with Mocentric, you guys have really poured gas on the fire for us of being kind of those experts, right? So we're able to extend our expertise through the Mocentric DSG partnership. So just so for the audience that is listening today, excuse me. For the audience that's listening today, Mocentric really helps us with geo-targeting. I know I mentioned that before, but one campaign that we've run that was pretty sizable in Q4 outperformed kind of not competitor agencies, but agencies that also worked on the awareness campaign for the same brand. And it was all because of our strategic partnership with Mocentric. And I don't think that you know that yet.
No, that's a little bit of news to me. I thought we were doing some good things behind the scene. I'm going to have to give all credit to my ad ops team, Haley Martin and Rachel. They run a tight ship over there, and I think that they probably did a very fantastic job with this campaign. I know when I was overseeing it, I was pretty pleased with the from 10,000 feet results, but I wasn't down in the nitty gritty, and I'm happy to hear that things are going well.
Yes, on certain ad groups, it was 1/3 more impressions and gaining additional audience. So Mocentric does a great job on all of our campaigns, small to large, and this was one of the larger opportunities, and they blew it out of the water. So.
Well, they're gonna be thrilled to hear that. I'm gonna share that. It's a team win.
Good, fantastic. Yeah. So Zach, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about your career trajectory. And I also particularly want to know where you're calling in from, and hopefully that sparks the audience interest. I know you are a traveling man. You're an amazing salesperson. You're an amazing rep of Mocentric. But how did that all come to be for you?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So it all started back in college. I got a degree in finance from Penn State. And from Penn State, I went on to work at JP Morgan. This was back in 2008, right after the iPhone came out and right as the economy was basically tanking. So I decided it might not be the best idea to be in banking. And I left on a road trip to California to follow, a dream. And the dream was to be out in California surfing and hanging out on the beach. But also it was to develop myself into an entrepreneur. At that time, I got a position at a small startup firm called Verve. They were focused on creating and developing apps for major news outlets to become, essentially what they were doing is creating an app and taking the news websites and taking those RSS feeds and pushing them into the apps. And then like that, all of a sudden people are looking at their phone and reading the news. So we built a huge ad network doing that, and I learned a lot at that organization. Anything from office management to accounting to legal work to special projects. It was all available to do, and I was hungry, and I learned a lot there. I'd like to think it was like getting my MBA from the School of Hard Knocks. After after that, I kind of hit a point there where I needed to, kind of develop myself more, and I left Mocentric, or excuse me, Verve, to get a job at Cars.com. And there I learned the value of digital marketing and how to sell. And I learned about management and kind of the industry itself. This all laid the groundwork to connecting again with Mike O'Hara in 2013 to start this company, Mocentric. Now, Mike and I had worked in the past at Verve. He was the original CFO. So if it makes sense, he was kind of the first hire to be my boss when we brought him into Verve. It was pretty funny. We liked working together then. We like working together now. So we kind of got the team back together for Mocentric. And then we've been working there ever since, and we've been growing and expanding, and we've built out our ad ops team, and we're hoping to continue to do that.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Cool.
I love hearing about, especially like in our network. I feel like most people within kind of the same kind of career, like I would consider Zach, you and I kind of peers in our careers right now. And a lot of the peers that I know haven't majored in marketing. I was I said this on other episodes, but I was a theater major. So I kind of had that, like, I can change my style up. I can, kind of project who I need to be at any given moment. And then like you, a media company took a chance on me, and I went into media operations. And like, that was the MBA of like, okay, throw it over to Paige. She's got it. But it could be like anything. It could be organizing a project, doing a timeline, doing a budget. And then I obviously tried to move up the ranks as much as I could. And I became a project manager at a pharma agency. And through that, I feel like the education of that experience was priceless. Like, I think that is what ultimately is helping me be the best VP I can at DSG. But I love hearing your story because it's very kind of similar in some ways. Although I'm sure you'd love to be surfing in California still.
It's certainly non-traditional, but everything I've done kind of led up perfectly to this point where I'm at in my career. And it wasn't because I thought back then that this was what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. I was in finance. I thought I was going to be a banker or a broker, and that was that. And, but then fast forward, and I'm so far removed from that, that I don't even know if I can go back, if I can hold a conversation with my finance friends anymore.
Oh my gosh. Well, you have so many other amazing things to talk about, but I totally understand. Yeah. Like, I love the theater, and I love to go and watch the theater, and I have an amazing appreciation for it because of my education. But like, I would not be able to do a reading or hold court, to your point, with a group of friends about modern playwrights or something. But I do too. I feel like like every experience leads you to where you're meant to be. As long as you kind of listen, oh gosh, I'm going to get so earthy, but listen to the universe in a way, and follow your gut and follow your instincts.
Well, I will say that when I hooked up with Mike, we had very similar philosophies when it came to work and life and balance. And Mike, if you know him, one of his favorite hobbies in the world is world travel. And so is mine. Yes. And so is Haley's. And so is Rachel. So we're building this team, and we're building this this vibe and this this feeling around our company that what you value the most, you should take time and do those things. And also make sure you're doing a very good job at work. But we want to be trusting and know that everybody that we work with is professionals and they can handle their business and they can do what they want to do to maintain a healthy work-life balance. Part of that, and as it directs to me, is right now I'm doing work from Costa Rica. That's not everybody. That's not very common for everybody, but for me and for my team, it's very common. A week ago, our ad ops director was in the British Virgin Islands on a sailboat. As long as there's Wi-Fi, as long as we're logged in and no clients are, complaining and everybody's happy and we keep above on our work, ahead of our work, it works. So for me, I typically will come down to Costa Rica during the months of the year that are not as accommodating to the other months of the year in the U.S. So the winter months, specifically after Christmas through March, April, that time period when it's like that second winter, that third winter, that the fall springs. I skip all that. I just come down here, enjoy the sun and the surf, and then I head back to the spring in the States, which is absolutely beautiful. Right now we're in Asheville, North Carolina. It's lovely to be up in the mountains, but we're always up in Pennsylvania. And just being in the nature of sales, I like to visit my clients. So I'm constantly on the move and constantly on flights, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes, and we always look forward to your visit, Zach. It's always so much fun. And I
Absolutely.
The weather is not accommodating in the States.
It's just not accommodating.
Just become completely difficult. So I just need to leave.
It's just, I don't even have an ice scraper anymore. I just don't ever want to use one again.
There's no need for you to use an ice scraper. I fully support that plan.
It was, the years of being a tough Philly kid, going out to California and having, ultimately beautiful weather every single day might have softened me up a little bit when it comes to going outside and engaging in the elements.
Yes. Well, I mean, because of the climate change, it is a little bit warmer here, but it's still not the best. I'd much rather have California or Costa Rica weather right now.
Totally.
I love that you have really created a culture at Mocentric. It's so nice, I think, for you and Mike to have that ability to do based on your passion for world travel. First of all, I'm so worried that our employees are going to listen to this and be like, can we incorporate that into our company culture as well? But I do think it's really important for, and I say quote unquote, smaller agencies to have that flexibility for their employees. Also to be kind of available for their clients whenever they need, right? Like you had talked about your unique value proposition of being solution creators. And I think it sounds like you've really taken that theme and really put it into your company culture as well, of like, how can we be solution creators for our employees who obviously you guys want the best of the best, but you also want them to have the same work ethic as you, the same type of value as you. And that definitely shows through in all of your managed services that you provide DSG clients and how we work with you as well. I did have a kind of an outlier question for you. When COVID hit, it sounds like you guys were kind of already set up for success in that you were already working remotely. You already were, I know that you have a remote team too, and then you come together. Was there any things that surprised you during COVID, or were anything that you were like, phew, I'm already glad we worked through that, that came about?
Well, it's interesting with COVID, like you mentioned, we were already kind of set up to succeed in COVID. We had a small, nimble team that was already remote, and we were already, kind of processing and like any company that had to relearn or learn how to process during COVID. So we kind of had a head start on a lot of those kind of working cogs. And then when it turned to looking at the market and kind of looking at everything is doom and gloom, sort of how some people are looking at 2023. Mm-hmm. I think it's not doom and gloom. I think there's opportunity everywhere. And I think it just takes, taking a second look at things and just trying to find where the next opportunity is going to be coming from. COVID taught me that some of the larger agencies and technology partners, and even 2023 to a certain extent, people are starting to get laid off from jobs, and they're starting to basically put out this huge talent pool of really talented people that would be all-stars on my team. So right now we're looking at it a different way. It's like, while everybody's cutting fat, we're like, well, how can we take advantage of this? Maybe we can pick up some studs, and maybe we can fill out the roster, right? Like that's how I think about it. I'm like, maybe this is an opportunity for us, and I think it's like having a realist approach, but also being positive and staying positive, because the moment you get down, everybody else around you is going to get down, and feeding into a negative mindset is like one of the worst things you can do. So you want to stay positive, realistic, and opportunistic.
Yeah, that reminds me of one of my all-time favorite quotes, which is, "With limitations comes great creativity." So you can look at like whatever this recession is going to be in 2023, right? But there's always going to be opportunity to either for clients campaign wise, keep the lights on, right? There are, again, you're going to be creating solutions, right? Of like making sure that marketing strategy is still in place, although adjusted. And from those adjustments, you can actually come up with additional ideas. And I love the way that you have approached like your hiring strategy. We're absolutely in the same boat too, of like, it's unfortunate that these larger agencies are laying people off, but at the same time, there's opportunity for smaller agencies that offer flexibility, that offer distinct cultures like Mocentric does, and kind of getting the cream of the crop in some ways, or offering kind of different types of jobs as well. Like I think, I don't know if you're the same way, but in the roles at DSG, you could be a marketing specialist and work on like 10 different types of campaigns, and every day is going to be different. And I have experience working at a large agency where I'm a project manager, and I can predict kind of that, what I'm going to do each day, which I totally get. Some people appreciate. There are days that I was like, okay, great. I know exactly what my schedule is going to be. I know who I need to talk to. But I do think that there's benefit in having flexibility, very distinct culture, and also the ability to create and have ownership and autonomy over campaigns and client relationships and whatnot with smaller marketing agencies like ours.
Totally. Yeah.
I agree. Agreed. I concur. Okay. So what's the next question that I have?
I was just going to say, if there's anything else worth mentioning on that. Okay. I was just thinking also in terms of like bringing on new clients, like there's going to be a lot of folks that are looking at their marketing budgets and looking at their strategies for this year. And they might be with current vendors that they know that they're not going to give them any flexibility. They're not going to budge when it comes to minimums. There's going to be some turnover. And in the agency world, there's always turnover. So know that there's going to be turnover during this 2023 economic downturn, and just be prepared to pick up that additional business. Maybe it's you renegotiating some things, or maybe it's you coming up with new solutions. But there's definitely going to be some people out there looking for alternative solutions, and you just want to be on the forefront of that.
I love that. That's an awesome advice. I think being patient too, and understanding the long game. I mean, from your perspective, Zach, I'm sure that you've played the long game with some clients that have really paid off. And like for us, we've been working on projects in the background for clients for 2 years before they make a commitment. And this like kind of turn in the economy this year, I think is just another story of like, okay, we need to step back, be patient. And to your point, like be like water, like adjust as needed.
And I will say, like, you're coming in these circumstances, COVID 2023 economics, you're coming and partnering with these companies at a time where they're like in such a delicate position themselves. So when you can form a bond in those sorts of surroundings, it's even more impactful than when times are good.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So that brings up another question for you, Zach. Just having that flexibility and understanding the landscape in 2023 for your clients or your prospective clients. What is on the horizon for Mocentric? What are you most excited about, or how are you anticipating like changing up things in reaction to what could be happening in 2023? Or maybe it's something that actually happened in 2022 that you want to bring up as well.
Yeah. Well, first I'll start by like reviewing our services. Our
Yeah, it'd be
our
great.
sort of flagship services for ours have always been in geofencing. That comes with event targeting, addressable geofencing using client data or using our own curated data, search retargeting, video targeting, native advertising, social media, OTT, CTV. We even do some website design work. And then we also have a huge plethora of partners that if we don't offer some of the key services, we can get assistance through our partner networks. What we've been looking at this year and as end of last year as well, addressable geofencing has still been a really solid strategy, just because the technology is so amazing. I mean, being able to create geofences in such small spaces around people's homes or businesses, and then being able to connect with them on all of their devices is such a powerful thing to do. Outside of that, you have the ability to track that, with physical conversions, walk-in traffic reports. We can do all that kind of stuff. And then the digital side of that. Some new and exciting things outside of that. We've rolled out social display, and it's our ability to take some of the most popular social media posts you have and push it outside of the network of just that social media property. So let's say a Facebook post gets you a lot of traction, but it's only becoming an echo chamber within your social media accounts. So using social display, we automate an ad that you can now take and position in front of an audience that might not be in the echo chamber of your social media, but you want them to be. You want them to convert, and you want them to come over. So it expands your network and allows you to step outside of social platform, but also using some of those features and appearances that people really enjoy in social. And then, I promised like my team I wouldn't talk about it, but, I have been getting calls about, hey, what's going on with augmented reality? What's going on with the metaverse? I just told them I would say those two words so that you can, so the keywords sound good, but right now we're just watching and learning. And as the projects come up, we're just learning a little bit more and more and more about it. And part of our role in the beginning is, we're technology testers. So if there's new stuff coming out, we're studying it, we're checking it out, we're as interested as you are, and we'll talk about it. We love to talk about this stuff. So we'll see what it has down the road. I think we're all looking at Disney to see what they do first, and then go from there. But outside of that, the only other things that we're looking to do internally are focusing on our employees and expanding our team, expanding our services, and then refining and automating more of our processes to become a more efficient organization.
That's so great, Zach. I love everything that you have listed. I can't wait to work with you on all of those initiatives. And maybe we can come visit you in Costa Rica as well.
Absolutely. You guys are always very, very welcome to come visit me.
Yes. I'm very interested, and I can tell why you guys want to get more and more into this is the social strategy aspect of that. Because at this point in time, if you have, or you're working with a brand with a really strong social media sense, that's a great way to utilize that and push it out further into the world, right? And I can imagine like there are specific verticals that works really well for. But I think that's just a really cool way to utilize all the hard work that certain companies are doing for their brand in their social media presence, organic or paid or otherwise. And then I love the buzzword of augmented reality or AR. I mean, I feel like it's so nebulous right now, and yeah, we'll see what Disney does.
It's like, you've gone to some of these
Yes,
conferences. There's those buzzwords that get people to buy the ticket to go to the
yes,
conference, even though
absolutely.
if they know what they're talking about or not yet.
Yes,
Clean room is another one for the data heads
yeah,
on this.
yeah. The
The
data heads.
data heads. Clean room is the hot buzzword
Yeah,
there. But yeah, it never ceases to amaze me how much people think about new solutions and innovations every day.
yeah.
It's just nice to be a part of that community and share that with our clients.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. That's awesome. So I want to get a little bit personal here, Zach. So I've been asking everyone who's part of our Spotlight series to tell me what is one thing that they do to set themselves up for success each day.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Here in Costa Rica, it's about routine.
Mhm.
For me, it starts with trying to get a good night's sleep every night. And then in the morning, glass of water first thing.
Mhm.
And then before I completely awaken, I go to the gym. And then somehow during the gym, during some jumping jack or burpee, I start to wake up and I'm like, what am I doing here? I got to get out of
Okay.
here.
I'm fully present. What am I even doing
Yeah,
here?
I'm usually sleepwalking into the gym. I think that's important for me personally. I can't be focused on what I'm doing at that time. But then I realize, oh my God, I'm at the gym. And then I'm like, I'm high because I went to the gym in the morning. And then I come back and I have a cup of some Costa Rican blend and I have a pipa. For those who don't know what a pipa is, it's like a baby coconut that you stick a pipe or a pipa into and you suck out the coconut water. And it's like amazing. It's like Gatorade times 1,000.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. I definitely want to come visit you in Costa Rica. I will even work out with you, Zach, to get to get a mini coconut.
we'll, we'll sleepwalk right into the gym. It's perfect. And then you get the coffee, and then you get the pipa, and then I slide into my desk and I really focus. And I know that I feel like I've already accomplished so much in that day already. And now it's all like it feels like bonus stuff. I'm like, oh, what can I get into now? And I'm excited. And then I go through my emails and I have my list from the night before, which is important. And I focus my time and I sit down and I work, for a few hours, always with some tunes for me personally. And then I take a break. Make sure you take a break, go outside, talk to somebody else, get your head out of the workspace for a few minutes. You need to do that. You need to take that break. If you don't smoke, that's fine. Go out and take a non-smoking smoke break. Um,
Yes.
yeah, but you need it. You need to like readjust and it helps you with your work.
Yeah.
And then having that little break usually allows me to come back inside and refocus and be able to refocus myself. And then I kind of work until I get to a point where I know I'm peaking. And then I say, all right, let's wrap up what I've done today and let's figure out what I got to do
Yeah.
tomorrow and put that in a list that gets ready for tomorrow. Then I'm done. I go down to the beach. Sunset is typically the social gathering of the day, and everybody goes down and watches the sunset. And then you come home, have a dinner, a little Netflix, and then sleep.
And go to sleep early because sleep is really important.
It's funny because down here though, like once the sun sets, basically everybody goes to bed. It's
I think that's great.
everybody really, and also because it's so hot during the day, people are active in the very early morning and they're active right at dusk. And then during the day, it kind of gets slow, which is perfect for me because I'll sit in the AC and I'll crank out my work. And it's just a really good relationship. And the routine of it all, I always feel happiest, healthiest, and most productive when I'm here.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And just your structure of your day is sounds wonderful. I absolutely agree with you. I think a sound night's sleep is really good. I am a 7.5 hour person. I could do it on 7.5 hours. I kind of want more, You know what I mean? Like there's some days I'm like, oh, I probably could have used that extra half hour for a full 8. But I
Yeah.
do have to say, in my 30s, especially, I've been like, wow, like having a good night's sleep throughout the week really sets you up for great days and good energy, positive energy. If you don't get that, it definitely is a drag on your day, no matter where you are, even if you're in Costa Rica paradise, Zach.
It's true. No, it's very true. Um, that's why a hammock's good. If you didn't get your 7.5 last night, maybe that hour or so you take for a break,
Yeah.
your non-smoking smoke break,
Yes.
maybe go in the hammock for a little bit and take a little
It's your
snooze.
it's your hammock break. I love that. In Costa Rica, it's a hammock
It's a hammock break. Yeah, a good time to listen to a podcast. Kind of take your mind off of the direct minutia of work at times because it can be minutia, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of projects, a lot going on, and it's stepping away and coming back into it. A lot of times, it's helped
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. Well, Zach, thank you so much for laying that out there. I'm sure I know I've taken uh, some thoughts myself from your amazing structure of your day. Um, yeah, I think that's great. Well, Zach, thank you so much for sharing about your day and being vulnerable. That's awesome. I already can like taste the coconut juice that you were talking about. That's just what an amazing life you have in Costa Rica, and I'm so glad that that lifestyle works for you. It's very obvious you're such a positive person, and you have such great energy.
Crazy side story for you in Costa Rica. You'll never believe like who was in this little town that I'm at. Jack Dorsey, the of Twitter.
Yeah.
He has a place here, like billionaire, right? He has a place here, and he's like always out in the water surfing. He's always around town. So like, I'm not the only person from the U.S. here. There's like some people here that are like rich and famous. And you know who else was here during New Year's was Jay-Z and Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, and Rick Rubin. They were all hanging out. They were all like, they went to the local discoteca here, which is, God, it's like a hole in the wall. It's like, it reminds you of an old roller rink from the
But these
Northeast,
are
like repurposed.
exclusive places.
But that was the only discoteca, the only club in town. So they all went there, and we couldn't believe it because it really is like way below their station if you think about the amount of wealth that these people have and what they can do. But hey, they just want to be like us. So they're at these like little bars and little like restaurants, and they're different because they've created a masses of wealth and have found places like this and can be here. But like other than like me, and there's some other, they're like people that have cut the cords and went remote offices that you'll see in the coffee shops, and you meet like kind of a whole new network of people down here that are all working on different projects and all are the same mindset where they can like completely compartmentalize their business life from their social life and be able to live here and also perform on a high level back in their day-to-day jobs.
Yeah, that it breaks up them. I mean, I try and do this myself being in Pennsylvania, but I'm sure traveling and like being in a place in a certain time period and then kind of switching things up, it breaks up the monotony. So it keeps your brain and your body just active, which I think probably, I would assume, goes into like your work ethic, right? Of like, you probably do better work because of that switch up, because you're kind of always on that like edge
Yeah.
between rest and creativity and changing up not even like your environment, but the culture as well. So I think that
Yeah.
must be
You're,
so
you're,
neat.
you're constantly processing when you're traveling and meeting new people and talking about
Yeah.
different things. And it's like, we joke that like, the last year felt like 3 years. So like, whole COVID felt like 10 years. Like
10
it was just
years,
like
yes.
time is going so slow and so fast at the same time. It's just because of all these experiences that we're absorbing. So it feels like we've lived like a whole nother lifetime. It feels like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm an old man and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, I'm still kind of young. This is good.
I'm still kind of young. Zach, we absolutely appreciate your partnership, and we're looking forward to what comes the next couple months into the summer.